Alright, today we're going to talk about measures of central tendency. These measures of central tendency, they help us describe the center of data. The most common type that we'll see will be mean, median, and mode. To find the mean, you add up all the numbers in a set of data, then you divide by how many numbers there are in that piece of data. So for instance, let's say that you are trying to calculate your grades for this quarter, and you made an 87, 92, and 94 on your test. You would add those three numbers up, so 87 plus 92 plus 94, that gives you 273, then divide that by 3, and your average would be a 91. So that's how your grades are calculated. The median, kind of like the median that's in the middle of the road, it's the middle number in a set of data, but you have to be sure that your numbers are in numerical order from least to greatest. I'll make a note here, least to greatest. That's supposed to be an arrow there. Okay, so if the data has an even number, the median is the mean of the two middle numbers. So looking back at the previous example up here, these are already in order from least to greatest. 92 would be the median. Alright, so mode is the number that appears the most often in a set of data. I remember that because mode and most sound alike. This is important right here. You use the mean if you have no outliers, because if you have outliers, that's going to affect your mean. It'll either pull your mean up or pull it down. You can use the median if you do have outliers and there are no big gaps in the middle of the data. You use the mode if you have lots of numbers that repeat. Okay, then it's also important to know what the range is. Again, range is not a measure of central tendency. We'll highlight that. But range is finding the difference between the greatest number and the least number in a set of data. There was a question you guys had on your integers test way back when school started. It was like the highest temperature recorded in DC, we'll say, was 105 degrees. The lowest temperature was -7. I just made those numbers up. But anyway, so we subtract, we find the difference in the largest and the smallest, and your difference would have been 112. So the range in those two temperatures is 112. Alright, so outliers, that's a number that's not part of the group. So for instance, let's say we go back to that grade example, and let's say 87, 92, 94, then you have a test that you did not study for and you make a 71. So do you notice how 71 is kind of far apart from these other grades right here? We would call 71 an outlier. Let's see what happens when we find the average of those numbers. So when you add up 87 plus 92 plus 94 plus 71, you get 344. And you divide those by 4, your average is now an 86. So that one grade of 71 brought your B plus to A grade down to a B. Let's determine when to use mean, median, or mode. Betty has received the following scores on her math test: 75, 82, 68, and 95. What's the best way to determine her current score? We'll go with the mean here, because we don't have any major outliers. We have something in 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. So you just add those up and then divide by 4. Now let's say that you had a score of like 35 in there. Then you would use the median. Okay, number 2. Miss Smith loves M&Ms and wants to determine which color is most represented in the bag. When I see most, that's a clue to use the mode. Okay, number 3. Julie is practicing for a marathon. Our current times are 5.2, 7.5, 6.2, 3.9, 4.1, 5.1, and 6.3. We have a couple of outliers there. I would say 3.9 is an outlier as well as 7.5. So because we have those outliers, we'll go with the median. So you would put those numbers in order from least to greatest and choose the middle number. The pet store is trying to determine which hamsters are the most popular with their customers. Mode most. The weatherman wants to share rainfall statistics with his viewers. How would he share the monthly rainfall this past winter? So that would be a type of average. So we'll go with the mean. Alright, let's practice. So the chef at Bistro Cafe found it challenging to satisfy all of his diners. The ages of the diners one evening were as follows. What is the mean age? Why don't you go ahead and pause your screen and try these problems and then come back and check your work when you're through. Alright, so number 1, you add up all those ages and you get 444. You then divide that by 11 because there are 11 ages up here. Number 2, the median age. So I'll put them in order from least to greatest. I also, you'll notice, put check marks above because I'll try to make sure I use every number. So now we'll find that number in the middle. So the median age is 35. The mode, I'll change the color here. The mode is the one that repeats the most. That would be 3. Okay, number 4, based on the mean age, what should the chef serve? The mean age was 40, so we'll go with steak and lobster because we're assuming adults like steak and lobster. And that says why? Because the mean is 40. Based on the mode age, what should be served? Okay, so the mode's 3, so we'll go with mac and cheese. I say we serve both mac and cheese and steak and lobster. Okay, what is the range? Take the largest, 87, minus the smallest, 3, we'll get 84. Which measure of central tendency would you use to find the most popular? So that's going to be mode. And what is that age? It's 3. Would the answer for number 7 be the best measure of central tendency? No, because 3 is an outlier. 3 is far away from the rest of the data. So 3 is an outlier. Okay, so you complete this page and check it using the key online or come back and see your teacher. Remember, to find the mean, you add up your numbers and then divide by how many numbers there are. To find the median, put them in order from least to greatest and choose the middle number. Mode's the one that repeats. Range is largest minus the smallest. Okay, last thing we'll do together. Let's try this page. Find the mean number of representatives for the states in the graph. So Tennessee has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Kentucky has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Virginia has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Looks like 11. And South Carolina has 6. So add those up. And you get 32. And divide that by 4, because you have 4 states. and your mean is 8. Okay, number 2. So I'm going to start by pulling the data from that line plot there. So in January 2, February, and March it was 3 inches. April was 2 inches. May was 4 inches. And June 7. Okay, so to find the mean, add them up. So we're going to do 2 plus 3 plus 3. So 2 plus 6 plus 6 plus 7. That gives us 23. And divide that by 3. I'm sorry, divide that by 6. Because there are 6 months that we're looking at. That gives you 3.83 repeating. To find the median, put them in order from least to greatest. So 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 7. And we'll cross out until we get to the middle. So because we have 2, we add those up. That gives me 6, then divide it by 2, and your median would be 3. Okay, last thing is find the median and range for Amelia's swimming schedule. So 8, 10, 15, 12. So I'm just pulling these numbers from the line plot. For day 5, it's 11. Day 6, it's 8. And day 7, it's 6. Okay, I'll put them in order from least to greatest to do the range. So we have 6, 8, 8, 10, 11, 12, 15. There should be 7 numbers there for the days. Looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so the range would be the largest minus smallest. So 15 minus 6, which gives you 9. And the median will be the middle number. So that'll be 10.